Hello, thanks for tuning in. I am Lisa J. Stocks, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about patience when it comes to all of your type of investments and what you're trying to build for yourself. So, we are coming off of two very strong years where we had the stock market up over 24% 2 years in a row. And the year prior to that, in 2022, the stock market was down nearly 20%. So, just thinking about the last few years, if you've been paying attention, if you've been investing, you've already gotten a taste of that experience of when the market pulls back. Never mind a few years prior when, we were going through all that situation with C19. We know what it is to go through struggles with the economy, with the stock market, with rising prices, inflation, groceries, all of that. But we also have to be ready for it. And we have to be able to um, manage our budget and plan, hopefully, so that we are not tapping into our investments early. So today I just want to talk a little bit about patience, and then I want to do a recap on the premiere that I had put out last Sunday. So let's talk about those investments that I want you to be able to hold on to long term, and those include your blue chip stocks. I did a couple of videos lately, guys. If there's anyone in the chat, if you want to share, what are those long term holds that you have when it comes to individual stocks? If you do that type of investing, it's only been the last few years that I've had done started doing like hands-on investing, having Apple and Google and all these different things in my portfolio. Prior to that, I was just concentrating on my 401k, my retirement accounts, and I was mostly in funds or target dated funds or mutual funds. So I wasn't picking individual investments. But if you are in the position that you are choosing individual investments, if you're investing outside of your retirement fund, share some of those investments that you have in your portfolio that you feel that you can hold on to for a decade. Or I don't think I've put that label of hold forever on any of my individual stocks yet, but if there are, share those if it's forever or, at least a decade that you feel comfortable that you have that long-term vision on. So, some of my investments that I plan on holding are NVIDIA, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, um, Apple, and Tesla, for example. Um, so let me know your thoughts on that. And have you gotten yourself to a place where you're able to give your investments the time to grow without having to tap into them? Are you ever in that situation where you need something, the car repair or some bill, and you're looking at your investments and thinking, "Hmm, should I sell?" Just because you need the money, not because you think that the growth is over. So, I don't want that for you. I want us to be in a position where we have our investments and can allow them to stay investment for the long term and really have that true growth and take advantage of that instead of having to tap into them early and never be able to achieve what we set out to. So I this crossed my mind because often I get the question in my chat of how do you take profits? When are you taking profit? And I'm really in a building phase. I know I'm some years into investing into Amazon, for example, but I'm not ready to take any profit or cash in on any of my stocks yet. I'm still building and still growing. And just and I think that a lot of people don't have my money mindset, and that's fine. But for for me, um I like to have things set clear. this is an investment. If I want to do a trade on Amazon, I can do that too. I can do an options contract on Amazon as well as be an investor into Amazon. Or I can do a trade on, a smaller cryptocurrency like Pepe coin or something like that. But I know my intention when I get into it. So I'm not in a rush to take profit because I've put in the work to have savings so that I'm just not in that mindset yet. My portfolio is not big enough for me yet, in my personal opinion, to be at that place of I'm ready to take profit. I want to sell my investments. I'm not at the age where I'm, ready to retire or give an inheritance to anyone. I'm still in a building phase. So I just wanted to touch on that because I get that question. I get that comment of how do I take profit? When am I taking profit? So and this also comes into play when when it comes to real estate. I live in a single family home, and I have rental properties also. And I tell you, it's a week doesn't pass. There must be a lack of inventory, but I'm telling you, a week does not pass that I don't answer either. I don't get a cold call from someone saying, "Are you the owner of this property? Are you interested in selling?" But I'm not. I am not. I'm here. I'm working on paying down my mortgages, and at the same time as my mortgage is going down, the equity is going up, and the value of my home is becoming more and more um, higher versus what I owe, and that's the place that I want to be in. I'm in that building phase. So and building wealth, it doesn't I like to try to throw some time frames, on when I share about my investments because that's another thing that people often say is, "Well, how long if I put the money in, how long before you think I'll be, 20 or 30 or 50% up?" And I really can't say. I don't have that crystal ball. I just felt comfortable in the investments that I was willing to put that work into building up, and I'm still seeing those results now. Now, so yeah, these are just some thoughts that I had in my concept of patience pays off, which is my theme of the beginning of today's live. So let me see what other things I have here. Let me take a look at the chat. Thank you, Miss V, for being a member for 6 months. And let's see what David is saying. Bought my house in 2011. Definitely not selling anytime soon. Long-term mentality on stocks and real estate. Yes. Okay. So David is with me on this. David, do you get any cold calls of people wanting to buy your house that's not for sale? Thank you, Blessed Life, for tuning in. Cutting Edge. And I don't know if you're still here, 755 and Lashes. Thanks for stopping by. So, all the time. Okay, they're trying to buy your house too. Yeah, lack of inventory. Um, so that's what I wanted to touch on just being patient. Hold on to your assets. That's what it boils down to. Hold on to your assets, whether it's property, your investments, those blue chip stocks. Definitely work to incorporate perhaps you have to make your own choices, but I will be incorporating AI stocks into my portfolio, especially with the way things are going, as well as the efforts that the government is making to get behind certain things. I have also incorporated more crypto into my portfolio. I'm going to be mindful of it. It is a much more volatile asset in order to get behind for some people, but I have the patience for it, and I have allocated a reasonable amount of money that I can I can tolerate going through the process of holding it long term. I've been through it before. I've been having Bitcoin in my portfolio for some time, but I've recently incorporated some FBTC over at Fidelity, as well as started a position into XRP. But I also talk about a lot here of those foundational investments, those investments that I think that everyone can get started with and, maybe start and stop at is those ETFs, like a VTI, for example, that gives you exposure to the entire US stock market. So these are the things that I don't want you to rush to take profits on. I want you to hold on to your investments and hopefully let them build and grow until you are truly ready to tap into them. So let's go on to touching on last Sunday. I kind of took a week off. Let me see. Um, Apple, never sell, hold, Toll Brothers. Okay, so the one is sharing a couple of his, I'm sorry, of their, I'm not sure if it's he or she. If I say anything incorrect, please excuse me. Long-term holds. So Vincent is sharing Palantir as an AI stock was recently listed in the S&P. American Airlines was removed. Yes, yes. So, hey, Nora, please share any AI stocks that you'll be holding long term. Thanks for tuning in. So, okay. So last Sunday, I premiered a video um, talking about building credit. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that so you understand why I thought that that was a good show and connecting with Curtis was a good idea. And I wanted you to get that information. So I'm glad not to be in the place of some of the questions that I was talking to him about last week, but I want to be able to support all people in all different places on their financial journey. And whether it's not you, whether it's, a new person that you're dating, or you can support a friend or your children or give guidance, a lot of people are caught up in these different type of situations where they have high interest credit card debt, they have a lot of money on there, and or the question that I thought was interesting that I wanted to really highlight was refinancing a car loan. Now, I don't want anyone out here paying for a car for 6 years at a high interest rate. But if you're in that situation, I know I've had two cars in my lifetime. I've had two cars that I paid for over time. Um, and when I was in that situation, I don't even think, the first car I got, I think it's probably took me about 5 years to pay for my first car that I got and I had a loan for. So, I don't know that it even crossed my mind of, you know, if the interest rates improve, if the economy changes, if my personal circumstances change, to go and try to see if I could refinance my car loan. So, yeah, definitely not a situation that I want any of us to be in here. I don't want us out here getting payday loans or doing any of these things that are just things that are just made to take advantage of people in a bad situation already, in need of having that line of credit, in need of, getting a car repair or whatever you need, especially transportation with getting a car loan. But but it happens. It happens, and we're all in different stages, like I said, and I just wanted to highlight some of the things that you can do in order to combat all of the interests and things that you might be facing, and get out of it sooner, and save yourself some money. And obviously, be on top of what is your credit score, and if it needs improvement, and just be ready. Be ready before the time comes, before you're looking for a house, or you're looking to do whatever, looking to replace the windows in your house or something, and then you're finding out, oh, there's these issues with your credit. So, um just want to keep that in mind, because once those things are in a good place, then I always feel like you can be 100% with uh, focusing on your investments, focusing on planning for your retirement, having your emergency funds once once other things are taken care of. Once you don't have that credit card debt, you're not struggling with a card payment and all of these different things. So, another show that I recently did was talking about. So, guys, in the chat, anybody who's watching, please let me know where has this ever have you ever heard of anyone um I definitely have friends that were paying for their cars for many years. Have you ever heard of anyone refinancing a car loan or even, exploring that? I personally had not. And I'm pretty sure. I can't say for sure, but I would guess that some people that had lengthy car payments got into a loan at a high interest rate and never went back and tried to do anything to improve that for themselves. So, another show that I recently did was, a live that I did. I was collaborating with about that wallet, and we were talking about, budgeting, and I just wanted to touch on that again because we're still at the beginning of the year. I was looking at someone's, video recently, and they were touching on, already saving a certain amount in their budget for Christmas. I commented and I was like, "Oh, I love to see it. It's January and you're already allocating your Christmas savings." So that's awesome, in my opinion, because we just came off of the holidays. Were you able to pay for everything? Uh, uh, do you have any debt from the holidays? Did you have enough set aside for your holiday spending, or are you seeing that if not this early, if not in January, already thinking about allocating, a certain amount to savings for next Christmas? Will you start earlier this time around, maybe in the summer, of planning on setting aside a certain amount so that your spending is completely covered and you're not putting yourself into any debt when it comes to any extra holiday spending, especially if you have a lot of family, you may have to travel, all the different things. Like I said, we just came through it. So you know what 2024 looks like for you. Did you have enough set aside for it? So let's see, one star comment. All right. So, okay, back to the budget. Some things, what are the things that are busting your budget? Um, as we get into 2025 and with the new administration that just took office, uh, I don't know what to expect. I've talked about it before about the tariffs and the different things that our president is trying to put in place, and I'm thinking about it a little bit, but I really don't know how to plan for it. I don't know how to necessarily buy American and be able to keep my budget, uh, keep my spending down. I'm expecting that there potentially could be an increase in our products that we need. And there are certain things I really don't need anything right now, but you might want to consider buying things sooner than later if there's something that you need that potentially is available now before there is a lack of inventory and any tariffs or things like that are in place, which is going to bring up the price. So just be mindful of that. But at the same time, maybe it's going to I don't think there's gonna be any way around potentially an increase to our spending on our regular products that we need on an everyday basis. So, we have to be mindful on tightening up our budgets, when it comes to maybe clothing or tech upgrades, those subscriptions, um buying takeout or evaluating different memberships that you have, like at the gym. Are you in the plan that is really suited to your needs? Are you taking advantage of all the features? Or is there a chance, like in something like that, where you could downgrade in order to save some money? So I just don't want our saving and investing to suffer if our expenses do increase because we're trying to we're trying to make improvements here and I understand that groceries and car insurance and those things we have to prioritize them, but I don't want our saving and investing to be impacted or just have to drop off completely because we are, having just to deal with our regular expenses that we just cannot get around that we need. So, thanks for tuning in, Trudy. So let me know if you guys have any questions. I really didn't have much, but I wanted to just highlight why I had done those recent collaborations and just want to continue to give encouragement on, you know, finance across the board. It's not just about investing because we need um, to be ready for all the elements that our financial journey throws at us, and having a budget really will help you to be able to know where every dollar is going and knowing that you are maximizing it and doing the best that you can. So yes. So guys, let me know if you have any questions. And really evaluating your budget can really show you some things that you didn't notice because big or small, you might think something is a small amount, but when you add it up over certain weeks or months time, you might be surprised at how much you spend on a small item, just something a little extra, and then you're saying you can't do something that is more beneficial to your budget, but you were able to do all of that spending on the other end. So, hey, Jamie, thanks for tuning in. So, let me know if you have any questions. So, if you weren't here, if you're just rolling in, the theme that I really wanted to touch on today was being patient and focused on your long-term investing, making sure that you're creating a situation where you're able to hold on to your assets, whether it's your investments, your property, whatever it is, so that you're not jumping to take profit when there's still a lot of potential and growth that you could be setting yourself up to reap the rewards of. Okay, so Jamie is proud. She's looking at her interest that she gained on her, I'm assuming high interest uh, savings accounts over 2024. The one is saying his ex-girlfriend. Poor girl, she's the ex. Um, Bought a car she couldn't afford, starting with the letter B. Okay. All right. So yeah, like I was talking about with the car, um, I I don't want any of us to get ourselves into these situations. This is what I'm trying to encourage with my youngest daughter. When you look at your paycheck, don't just go and rent an apartment and get a car and do all these things. Plan to do all these things and not be setting aside a certain percentage. Just creating a situation where all of the money is going to the wants and the needs, and there's no savings and investments. Because that's if you start off that way. I understand things do fluctuate. Groceries and car insurance, for example, I would not have expected that I would be spending the amount that I currently am on those 2 things alone. But it happens. And so I have to be ready for it and I have to find other places to try to cut in order to keep up with my investing strategy, as well as saving. And when something does come up, then being able to replenish my savings so that I'm always ready. So to not put myself into debt and be carrying any credit card debt and losing money to the interest payments. So I'm dealing with my job is now semi monthly. So that's something new for you, getting paid semi-monthly? I had a job, my first job that I had for a long time, I got paid, twice a month. Not every other week, twice a month. So I think I got paid on the 15th and the last day of the month. So, yeah, it used to be and this is when I was much younger, like, my first job. My first full-time job, I was making 808 an hour. And then I got my first raise. I got a big first raise because I went from 808 to $10 in one shot. I know it doesn't sound like much, but um, but when I was in that role, when the month ended like on a Tuesday, like the 31st was on a Tuesday or a Monday, yeah, that payment schedule, it was a little hard to get used to, but I was there for a long time, so I got used to it. But when I went to another company and it was every other week, I was like, "Oh, this is different. This is different than twice a month," where some people thought it was the same. It's not. Um, so Jamie, were you used to getting paid weekly? What was the difference with what you got changed over there? Seems like it's affecting you. Um I do better with monthly versus Jamie likes monthly payments as versus, biweekly, okay. Alright. Okay, so what was I saying? I don't even remember. But, yes, I just was trying to just talk about different things. We touched on what kind of investments that you can hold long term, not necessarily forever. I think I try not to clickbait you guys when I make my videos, but I think the only one video that I said buy and hold forever was my FXAIX. So that's gives exposure to the S&P 500. That's a Fidelity fund that I'm doing in an IRA. So when I say that, I mean like that's one I plan on holding until I am, retired and done and just ready to tap into. So, but overall, I do try to incorporate a lot of my investments into my growth portfolio, into my dividend portfolio. I try to add things that I definitely felt that I could hold for a decade or more because I'm not interested in constantly rebalancing and selling and all of that. I am open and I do trade. I do options trading. I will do a regular trade, but I try to keep all of that separate and know this is an investment, this is a trade. So hi, Buddha. Thank you for tuning in. And I saw someone else. I am. Thank you for tuning in. Did you come over with Buddha? Um, so Jamie is sharing that her son is investing in the stock market. So Jamie, what do you do? Do you only invest through your 401k or your retirement account and you don't do anything on your own additional investments? Thanks for tuning in, Reem. So, yeah, as I was saying, when it comes I'm not a person that wants to I am very interested, like, there's a lot of earnings that are gonna be occurring this week, on many of the individual stocks that I have in my portfolio, I think on the 29th and 30th. I gave a recap of that. I'll put it on my community wall, the calendar. But at the same time, I like to have investments that I don't have to constantly rebalance and sell and change out. So that's why I do describe myself primarily as a long term investor. I just want to have those blue chip stocks, those ETFs, those monthly paying dividend investments in my portfolio that I'm being mindful of. I definitely keep an eye on. I'm keeping up with the news and things like that, but it's very rare that I have the need to sell a complete investment and move it into something else. But I have my eyes open and I'm okay. If that does occur, I am okay with that because a few years ago, when I first got it started into investing on my own, I was holding on to certain things too long, accidentally diamond handing, thinking that something was an investment when um, they it had I should have done more research and known, just cut your losses and let it go. But, I'm a different person now, and that's not gonna happen anymore. If there is something that I get into and it's not worth holding on, I'm not gonna, lose a large percentage, letting it go down. I'm willing to, put on a stop loss or even sell it at a slight loss and move on to something else that is more profitable and has that long-term potential. But it is rare that I have the need to do that. Okay, so Daily is sharing that they don't have a 401k, so they're building their own portfolio. That's great to hear. That's another thing I like to highlight is if you're working in a certain industry that doesn't provide you with a 401k or a 403b, definitely reach out to a brokerage company. I happen to use Fidelity, but you choose who you're comfortable with and explore opening an IRA and really take it seriously. Um, Max out the amount that you can put in. I think it's 7,000 if you're under 50 years old and maybe on a time if that's enough for you or if you can't even do that, just invest them as much as you can in order to be on track and don't just and even if you are currently investing through your company's retirement account like uh Jamie just shared that she only does her 401k. She doesn't do investing, any additional investing on her own. Know what the performance is. Know what you're invested into. Because sometimes I talk to people and they're like, yeah, I have that. I'm invested in the IRA or the this or that. And I'm like, what are you invested into? The IRA? No. What investments within it are you invested into? And how is the performance? And, I try to keep what I want to share to this channel because I don't want to overstep. But when I'm talking to someone in real life, but I can see that probably and I've been in that situation too myself, that if you're not opening your eyes to it in the right way to really have an understanding, you can let many years pass and you can be losing money because you're unaware and things are changing now too. They are required to list and detail out all of the fees that they are charging you. So there should be nothing hidden. And if you can't dig through a report or you think that you're not understanding something, call up and ask what fees, what the expense ratio is on your investments. But don't turn a blind eye to it because uh, this is you trying to save for retirement. This is you putting in decades of work, and the last thing you want to know or the last thing I want for you is to let all of that time pass when you're losing money when you should have been gaining at a more, at a better rate because of the investment that you're in, because of the brokerage company that you're in, and it's just a sad situation and no one's coming to save us. So I want to make sure that we're out here ready to save ourselves and advocate for ourselves so that we are building the best foundation and life for our future. So let me see if there's any other comments or question. Keep it basic. It's worked for me investing no more than 3 to 5 stocks in my main portfolio. Yes. So when it comes to my daughter's portfolio, I haven't had mine is not that compact, but when it comes to my daughter's portfolio, that's exactly how much we have in there, 5. So 2 funds and then 5 individual stocks right now. So, guys, I'm just taking okay. I don't have a 401k, so but I want my son to teach me the stocks he follows, Tesla, Apple, Meta. Okay, okay. All right. So I'm just taking a quick look at the chat. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. Please drop them in the chat. What do you think of using an AI app to help you track expenses, investments, etc.? Um, I've never used anything like that to track expenses, and I've never used an AI app to help me, like, with choosing investments. I think we got this question, like, 2 weeks ago, someone asked a question like this, and I said, "If anything, I would wanna I would wanna explore an AI app that tracks Nancy Pelosi's, investments." But, I mean, as far as tracking expenses, that's not something if there's a cost to it, I think you could do it manually yourself. I'm a frugal person when it comes to spending on things like that. Even for my own business, I don't have QuickBooks or anything. Not that I have, that large of a business that I feel the need for it, but I just don't feel the need to take on the added expense. So I do everything manually, just in Excel and spreadsheets and my own tracking method, and I'm able to prepare something to give to my accountant, and she's been good with what I provided, and my prior accountant also was fine with what I was able to put together for them. So when it comes to tracking expenses, you have to do what resonates and works best for you, but ideally, I would hope that that's something that you could find a free version to help you with. And an AI app for investments, yeah, I haven't explored it, but it could be beneficial. Nancy P, yes. Jose, I know you she's your idol. Okay. So let's see if I had anything else in my notes. But yeah, we are early in the year. We are at January 26th. So just let's get this year kicked off right, and let's be ready for whatever this new administration that has taken office has for us, good or bad. We have to be prepared for potential rising costs, but there could be some potential on the other end with some really good opportunities when it comes to the stock market. So I've always, I mean, I'm never going to take a break from investing going forward. Um, and but at the same time, I'm going to be mindful of the economy that we are in and try to take advantage of uh, what can benefit me most. So that's the way I'm going to go about it. And like I said, we have a very crypto friendly uh, president in office. And so that is a new focus that I had to become a little bit more open to and get myself a little more positioned than I would have, under, other circumstances. But that is a personal choice, not encouragement for you to buy, hold, or sell anything, but I think that investing is the way to build wealth that I wanted to share my journey with you, and, um, definitely don't want this opportunity to pass any of us by. And I don't want us just to invest. I want us to make sure that we are maximizing our investments. That's why I'm always saying, please take a look, take a good look. Like I happen to have all of my retirement accounts currently at Fidelity. So I don't have to go to multiple places anymore, from different companies. I've rung all of them over there, um, and I have the Fidelity app on my phone, just like we have Facebook and YouTube and all of these things on our phone. I want us to have our investment accounts, hopefully your particular brokerage company through your employer or whatever, that you have it, but don't have it downloaded on your phone. Take a look at it, even if it's just quarterly. Take a look, be mindful, know what you're invested into, and make sure that you are happy with the performance. You set the bar of what you are trying to accomplish there. And when I say set the bar, what age are you at? What is your risk tolerance? What are you trying to accomplish? Do you want to should you Are your investments in line with the performance of the S&P 500? You have to set a standard, and then from there, um, make sure that what your expectations are is what they are providing to you. And don't just think that, my company uses whatever brokerage company, so it is what it is. If you ask the questions, and sometimes there are other options and you just didn't realize because you just kind of started working there, and you may have just defaulted into a certain into the target dated fund, but there are some mutual funds or other choices that you could also have been taking advantage of, but you just didn't realize at the time. So whatever time of the year it is, whenever you have time, don't let years don't just go to work and go to work and go to work year after year, and not pay attention to your investments, because at the end of the road, when it's time to retire, this is what we're trying to build. And don't let time pass, and you're just not accomplishing the goals that you're assuming that are being taken care of for you. And I think that I've definitely talked to people also that taken on this attitude of, well, I work at whatever prestigious company or university or whatever, and as though they don't need to be concerned with their investment account because they work for a good company, and so they should be under good management. And they have I believe, and I have seen with my own eyes, you need to be out there and have your eyes open and advocate for yourself, because there are there are funds with very high fees and poor performance, and you could be in one of them. And I just want you to have your eyes open to it. So, let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to um, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you are not already, if you are new here, and leave me any suggestions or questions that you have on the videos. I do try to get to answer questions. Um, Thank you to all the channel members. Feel free to to leave any video requests or questions that you have, and I will try to get to them. Thank you for tuning in, Lucy. And that's it for today. Let me know. Let me see. Lisa, you're right. I usually let my quarterly dividend pay out. Thank you for tuning in and sharing in the chat. But that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you all for all of your support. And like I said, please drop me any questions even after the live, and I will try to get back to them. And I will see you next Sunday.
And to investments, she make a lot on YouTube. Lisa J Stocks. Lisa J Stocks, that's the channel. Hey. If you wanna make some money, visit Lisa J Stocks. Yeah. You will make a lot. If you wanna make some money, visit Lisa J Stocks. Okay. She'll make it pop. If you wanna make some money, visit Lisa J Stocks. Yeah. Hey. You will make a lot. If you wanna make some money, visit Lisa J Stocks.